coming up on Grady Newsource.
The Northeast Georgia Food Bank plays a vital role in meeting the needs of hunger in our community. And as the holidays are quickly approaching, their impact is felt even more.
In sports, UGA head football coach Kirby Smart looks ahead to a rivalry game against Georgia Tech.
When I came to school here as a player, it was one of the biggest rivalries there was.
An invasive species has become a pest in Oconee County.
This is Northeast Georgia's only local source for TV news. From the Grady College of the University of Georgia, this is Grady Newsource.
And I celebrate Thanksgiving.
Good evening and welcome to Grady Newsource. I'm Jada Bowman. Tonight I'm joined by Grady Newsource reporters Katie Anderson and Isaiah Joseph, bringing you more on UGA sports.
Yeah, Jada, so today we're going to be talking about college football's big games this weekend in terms of rivalry weekend.
We'll also be bringing you the latest update from Hawaii and men's basketball.
Thanks, Katie and Isaiah. Every fourth Thursday of November, the Macy's Day Parade is showing on TV, and people are preparing their turkey dinners. Thanksgiving is a federal holiday and was established as such in 1863 by Abraham Lincoln during the Civil War. Thanksgiving is celebrated by many for a variety of reasons. Some celebrate with food and some celebrate with football, but most celebrate with family and friends. Earlier today, we asked UGA students what they were doing for the holiday and what they are grateful for.
And I celebrate Thanksgiving to spend time with my family and come together to talk about what we're thankful for and just spend time together.
Why I celebrate Thanksgiving is because it's a time for friends and celebration and good food.
I celebrate Thanksgiving because I like reconnecting with family and friends and taking a period to reflect, and I also like to eat a lot of good food.
Thanksgiving dinner is one thing that many are grateful for, but to some, having a Thanksgiving meal is not always guaranteed. The Northeast Georgia Food Bank strives to meet the hunger needs of individuals in our area. During the holiday season, they play a crucial role in spreading nutrition and cheer. Our reporter Skylar Nicholson has more on their impact and needs.
Holiday season is a really big time for us, and Thanksgiving is really important to us and for us. It's a time where people gather around food, so we want to make sure they have that food on their table. One of the things we do, which we just did this past weekend, is our turkey box distribution. So we work to collect turkeys, and we put together boxes with the staples of Thanksgiving, things to make stuffing, green beans, mac and cheese, things you think of when you think of Thanksgiving with that turkey, and we put it all together in a box.
The food bank services 225 distribution agencies in 14 surrounding counties in Northeast Georgia. In the last month, they have collected approximately 300,000 pounds of food. That number is 5% less than they were expected to collect. That is due to the new changes in the tax bill and itemization rules. Members of the community have stepped in and are trying to help fill in the gap of donations this year. Courtney Hall, an employee at Apple Tree Prep Daycare in Bogart, brought in 1,332 pounds of donations today from their facility.
The reason why we do this is because it's the holiday season and we know that some people are less fortunate and don't have a lot. So we just want to help and raise awareness that if you can give and have the money to give, anything helps.
Victor Thomas of La Nueva Jerusalem Church has been a partner with the food bank for the past 10 years and says that through the food bank, a tremendous need has been met.
The food bank has taken and been able to provide us with food at a low cost that we can take and give to families in need. I do anticipate an increased number of clients over the Thanksgiving period and Christmas period.
The food bank partners with faith-based organizations, churches, shelters, and other small nonprofits in the area and allows them to come onto their floor with a shopping cart and take what they need to serve the people back in their organizations. Trying to get the most bang for their buck, the food bank turns $1 of donations into 4 meals. But there still is a need.
Numbers are down right now, so we are looking for people who are looking to help out in whatever way that means to them. Not everyone is able to give monetary support, and we fully understand that. If you aren't able to give monetary support, we highly encourage you to come volunteer. Your time is important and your time is really valuable to us.
In addition to the Food Bank of Northeast Georgia, a number of other food banks and churches are offering services to people who may not be able to afford a large Thanksgiving meal for themselves or their family. Grady Newsource reporter Wangechi Rarowe joins us at the Smart Board. Thank you, Skylar. In addition to the Food Bank of Northeast Georgia, a number of other food banks and churches are offering services to people who may not be able to afford a large Thanksgiving meal for themselves or their family. Grady Newsource reporter Wangeshi Warowe joins us at the Smart Board.
Yeah, Jada, just like any holiday during this time of year, you're gonna have to do a little planning ahead of time if you decide to visit one of these places. Here you can, of course, see Food Bank of Northeast Georgia, which Skylar told us some about earlier. But there's also Athens Area Emergency Food Bank and the Salvation Army Food Bank. Now, both will be closed on Thanksgiving, but at AAEFB, they'll be open no later than 1 p.m. on Wednesday, and they're willing to give you a week's worth of groceries for your family's size. And because it's Thanksgiving week, it will include things like ham, turkey, and greens. Over in Jackson County, we see Crossview Church. Now they're encouraging those who need meals ahead of time to contact them today or latest Wednesday because they'll be closed the rest of the week. Now Jefferson First Baptist Church, which is also in Jackson, is going to operate their food bank during their regular times and days, Monday and Wednesday from 1 to 3 p.m. But be sure to bring a picture ID because you need it to receive their services. Meanwhile, in Barrow, Winder First United Methodist Church is actually willing to deliver meals directly to you if you're unable to pick them up. You just need to call them ahead of time so that you can get some holiday food between 10:30 a.m. and noon on Thanksgiving morning. Wangeshi Warowe, Grady Newsource.
Thank you, Wangeshi. To see more locations that may be available near you, follow us at Grady Newsource on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. If you are traveling before Thanksgiving by State Route 316, you may need to plan ahead and allow for more time to reach your destination. From today until Wednesday, the Georgia Department of Transportation will enforce single lane closures. It is advised to be cautious when driving through work zones. The closures will, however, end right before Thanksgiving Day. So if you are traveling on Thursday, you should not run into any delays due to construction. Which means people are ready to spend some extra pennies on holiday shopping. Grady Newsource reporter Ashlyn Webb has been looking over shopping trends over the past decade. And Ashlyn, you found something pretty interesting.
Yeah, Jada, consumers say they'll spend 4% more this holiday season. That's according to the National Retail Federation. A survey found that shoppers will spend an average of $1,047.83. Last year, consumers said they'd spend $1,007. So if you scroll down on this report from the National Retail Federation, you can see that shoppers have spent more and more since 2010. One thing I asked myself was, what all will shoppers spend their money on this year? The survey actually says that 59% of people, as you can see right here, will spend their money towards gift cards this year, but that's actually not too shocking. That's because this is the 13th year in a row that consumers have said they'll spend their money on gift cards, and it's at the top of their wish list. The report says 52% said they'll spend their money on clothing and accessories. But two things that I found interesting is that a little less than 30% said that electronics are on the top of their list, and 23% said jewelry. So Jada, out of these categories, what is at the top of your list?
Gift cards. The more, the better.
Me too. Maybe we'll be able to catch some Black Friday deals this week.
Hopefully so. Thanks, Ashlyn. You'll be back with more on weather, right?
Yep, I will.
Up next, see how you can help with the removal of an invasive species. And also, learn more about the concept of streaming.
Hello.
Hi. I'm from Blue Hood Stone Barns. We brought a meal for you, and I'm here to serve it to you.
Okay, great. Come in.
Zucchini carbonara, made from zucchini that was harvested earlier this morning.
Again?
Hey, Dan Barber.
You have room for a little bit more?
Come on in.
Brochettes with sausage. So when we made that zucchini carbonara, you know, they're the end pieces of the zucchini, and they're the cores that we cut away, not to mention zucchini flour. Usually those get thrown out. We use them to create an entire second dish. Does that,
Again? I'm here to bring you your third course. It's the vines from your zucchini.
We'll have a little zucchini stem pasta, a different experience of zucchini. When we start to think differently about our food, we can get a lot more out of it.
This is delicious.
What do you think we can make out of this? 40% of food in America is never eaten. Cook it, store it, share it. Visit SaveTheFood.com.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation.
America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
Laughing too hard at one of your colleagues' jokes at the office party? He's not even funny. Warning sign. Those drinks are probably going to your head. Probably okay isn't okay when it comes to drinking and driving.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
An invasive species is taking over one local park. Grady Newsource reporter Peyton Lewis shows us how this community plans to fight back.
The forest seems peaceful for those coming to enjoy the nature at Heritage Park in Oconee County today, but for the plant species in this park, there's a war raging on. The invasive species called the autumn olive is taking over this local park.
This plant may look like it's green and thriving, but that's not necessarily a good thing.
Andy Dunstan, a supervisor for park facilities in Oconee County, says the autumn olive is bullying its way into the Heritage Park forest.
And what it's doing is crowding out natural species. It is not really something that deer or other wildlife wants to eat, so it is spreading.
Although the plant continues to spread, the Keep Oconee Beautiful Commission has come up with a way to combat the problem.
So what we're planning on doing is bringing volunteers in. We're going to train them on how to identify the plant and how to remove it. Our method of removal is to cut the plant and then treat the stump that is left.
People who want to help will be allowed to assist in the removal of the autumn olive on December 7th through the 19th from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m. Park staff will hike up about 1 mile into the forest with the volunteers to begin working. Registration for volunteering is online at www.oconeecounty.com/heritagepark.
Volunteers are expected to dress appropriately for the weather and bring a bottle of water. Everything else will be provided.
With efforts from the community, the Keep Oconee Beautiful Commission is confident that the autumn olive will stay out of Oconee County parks. Peyton Lewis, Grady Newsource.
Volunteers can sign up for the invasive species removal up until December 7th. The concept of streaming has widely taken over in the digital era and continues to shape the future. But it isn't just TV that's been affected by this evolution. Grady Newsource reporter Taylor Harris has more.
Yeah, Jada, so I'm sure if you consume media in today's world, you're likely streaming in some form or another. When most people think of streaming, however, they tend to think of video and TV streaming services, but streaming has also taken over the music industry. Services like Spotify and Apple Music lead the market with 263 million listeners worldwide between the two. This includes 26 million paid Spotify subscribers and 28 million paid Apple Music subscribers in the U.S. But what exactly are the numbers behind streaming services for the industry as a whole and the artists involved? Digital revenues now account for 58.9% of the global recorded music market, with paid streaming subscriptions playing a big role. Streaming revenues alone increased from $2.3 billion in 2015 to $7.4 billion in 2018. With the trend in streaming, the global recorded music revenues posted a growth of 9.7% in 2018. This was one of the highest rates of growth that the market has seen since the International Federation of the Phonographic Industry began tracking it in 1997. For the artist, they make around 0.06 to 0.84 cents per stream that is paid out to the music rights holder. To put this into context, this is roughly $7,000 per million streams. That number doesn't include the music rights holder paying percentages to the record label, artist, producer, and songwriters. So while it makes artists' music easily accessible, it can be hard to generate a sustainable revenue from streaming alone. Because of streaming and lower physical product sales, artists turn to other sources such as live performances and merchandise to make money. For example, the amount of concert attendees increased from 33% to 35% in 2017 to 2018. The digital age has increased the amount of creativity the artists can have in presenting their content to their audiences. This in turn benefits the artists with more potential revenue streams from which they can make a living. I'm Taylor Harris, Grady Newsource.
And coming up, Grady Newsource reporters Katie Anderson and Isaiah Joseph will break down the upcoming football rivalry games and give us an update on UGA men's basketball performance in the Maui Invitational.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why did the girl ask the mushroom to dance? Because he was a fun guy. What do you call a pig that knows karate? Pork chop. So how does a tissue dance? Put a little boogie on it.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. And as soon as I start to make my breakfast, Hamilton is right there. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. I mean, look at this little face. How could you not love him?
I'm Katie Anderson, and this is your Grady Newsource Sports. I'm joined now by Grady Newsource reporter Isaiah Joseph. Isaiah, it's looking to be a big weekend for college football. We got rivalry weekend. The top 4 teams are meeting their rivals this Saturday.
Yeah, Katie, we have some clean, old-fashioned hate here in Georgia. We have Georgia versus Georgia Tech, and this rivalry dates back to 1893, so it has a history.
Well, it's always been a big deal in the state of Georgia. Actually, Georgia leads the series with Tech 67-41 with 5 ties, and Georgia's won the last 2 games of the matchup by an average of 23 points.
Yeah, this will be very interesting, and then we have to think about it. Georgia will be looking to extend their 5-game win streak, and Georgia Tech wishes nothing other than to spoil Georgia's playoff hopes. So, and even Kirby Smart said he isn't overlooking Tech's record. He said he's very focused on this rivalry.
Just about the rivalry. So when you think about this game, records are thrown out. None of that matters.
Another huge rivalry this weekend will be taking place at the Iron Bowl. We got Auburn versus Alabama, and an Alabama loss would be a big deal. It could definitely hinder their playoff hopes.
Yes, that's very true. We have to notice that Alabama has never missed a playoff since the playoff system started in 2014. So there's a lot riding on this playoff game.
Another big game is definitely the Ohio State versus Michigan game. Ohio State is undefeated, but Michigan has really been picking it up the past 4 games, winning by an average of 30 points. Plus, they're playing at home.
Yeah, this is very exciting, and some other good matchups to look forward to this weekend is LSU versus Texas A&M, and then South Carolina versus Clemson. So, if there were any shakeups to, these matchups, if any upsets would happen, it would really shake up college football playoffs. So, I'm excited for it. So
we got to wait and see what happens, but this should be a very exciting weekend for sure.
Should definitely be excited.
The UGA men's basketball team spent the first half of this holiday week in Hawaii as they were among one of the 8 teams competing in the Maui Jim Maui Invitational this week.
Yeah, UGA competed in the championship round, which takes place today through Wednesday. The top 4 teams, including Michigan State and Kansas, are in attendance, as well as BYU, Chaminade, Dayton, UCLA, and Virginia Tech.
So UGA took on Dayton in the first round today at 2:30 and had their first season loss 61-80.
Yeah, currently undefeated Virginia Tech is taking on number 3 Michigan State, and it's shaping up to be a pretty good game. The winner of this game will take on Dayton in the next round.
It will be interesting to see how the next couple of days progress. Thank you so much for joining me, Isaiah.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Again, I'm Katie Anderson, and this has been your Grady Newsource Sports.
I'm Ashlyn Webb with your weather, and up next, I'll tell you your 5-day forecast as well as what to expect on Thanksgiving Day.
Thank you. Did you see anyone's raffles? Thanks for helping us. Is this not fair? You're welcome.
We do anything for kids. Yet 1 in 6 children in the U.S. struggle with hunger. Help end childhood hunger near you. Learn how at feedingamerica.org.
Start a story. Adopt at theshelterpetproject.org.
Can we get strawberries? Okay.
And now, the weather.
Good afternoon, I'm Ashlyn Webb with your weather, and it's a beautiful day here in the Classic City, so let's get started with the forecast. It's 63 degrees right now as our high, sunny with a 0% chance of showers and winds moving northwest at around 3 miles per hour. Then our low temperatures to expect overnight, 38 in Toccoa, Athens, Greensville, Augusta, and Chattanooga, and 40 in Atlanta. And then for the Thanksgiving forecast at 9 a.m., we're going to be seeing around 49 degrees. Noon, it'll be 61, and 6 p.m., it'll be around 66, but mostly clear for the day. Our high temperatures to expect, 66 in Athens and 61 in Atlanta. And our low temperatures to expect, 46 in Athens, 46 in Atlanta, and 45 in Chattanooga. So for the 5-day forecast, most of the week we're going to be seeing some sunny weather, but Wednesday we are expecting some rain with a high at 69 and a low at 43. And that's it for your weather. I'm Ashlyn Webb.
Coming up, a Georgia native's art brings smiles to others.
Hi, I'm Peter. And there's nothing I love more than sharing vegetables with my friends. Come on in! Help yourself to anything. That's why we give our food the utmost respect it deserves. Did you know there are simple steps we can all take to help save food? You can cook it, store it, even share it. Just don't waste it. Because when it comes to food, better ate than never. To learn more, visit SaveTheFood.com.
You think getting dumped by text is harsh? Try getting dumped by a tennis ball. My ex-owner drove me out to the woods, yelled fetch, and by the time I brought the ball back, he was gone. Yeah, I was pissed. But the folks at the shelter helped me let go of my anger. I learned coping skills, like taking it to the hole. Boom! Now I'm ready to fetch again. But how about I throw and you run and get it?
Attention travelers. Next Tuesday, a major power outage will cause complete chaos throughout the city. Food, water, and phone service will be in short supply. There will likely be panic citywide. Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help,
For Toccoa, Georgia native Stephanie Grafton, art is more than a simple hobby. For the past few years, Grafton has been giving back to the community through sharing her passion for painting. Grady Newsource reporter Wellesley Kiesel has more.
Toccoa, Georgia native Stephanie Grafton is putting the ability in disability.
Oh, that's pretty.
Grafton took up painting in 2003 when she took her first painting class in Atlanta. Since then, she has fully embraced her art, covering every inch of her art studio walls in past works. Grafton's art can also be found at Madison County Library, featured in an exhibit titled Georgia Artists with Disabilities. Her work, titled Purple Delight, was awarded honorable mention. When asked what her reaction was to her artwork being selected for the exhibit, Grafton had a humble response.
Surprise. Make me feel better.
Despite her successful painting hobby, the road hasn't been easy for Grafton.
She started experiencing seizures at age 8 and was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis at age 25. In 2012, Grafton was diagnosed with breast cancer and started undergoing intense chemotherapy and radiation treatments. She won the battle with cancer, and this year marks 7 years cancer-free.
Grafton shares her love of art with others at the Arts and Heritage Center in Helen, Georgia, where she teaches paint therapy classes to others with mental and physical disabilities. Nancy Ackerman, the executive director for the center, raves about the classes Grafton teaches and the benefits they bring to participants.
Art brings so much to the table. You don't realize it. You don't realize what's happening until you get in that little zone. That when everything's quiet, that's when the healing takes place.
The healing doesn't just benefit class participants. The classes have helped Grafton's confidence as well.
It helped me feel good about myself.
Grafton hopes to continue helping the community by teaching at the center that helps solidify her love of art.
Stephanie's just she's an asset to the art center here because we have her paintings here. Her paintings sell. People love her when she's here, and she's just brings a smile to your face.
Wellesley Kiesel, Grady Newsource.
And that wraps up today's show. From all of us here at Grady Newsource, we'd like to thank you for joining us. I'm Jada Bowman. See you next time.
Student production of the Grady College of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of Georgia, which is solely responsible for its contents. Views expressed do not represent those of the administration nor the Board of Regents at the University System of Georgia.
Okay, so we drowned the fire, stirred it, drowned it again, and now just feel if it's cold.
Yeah.
Cool.
Smokey just gave me a bear hug.
I know. I already posted it.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your closet. Still no jobs? Just more stuff? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed, and they're the stuff inside your stuff. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made this vacation happen.
Double points with every purchase?
Cleverly merging promotions.
Love it.
cross-referencing travel sites, and booking all your flights with those
vouchers. I got us bumped.
They were like, oh, but now they're like, aloha. You aced this vacation. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
This is the Grady Newsource post-show critique.
Live show, live. So I'm echoing probably.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, we have one more show left, but we shouldn't be taping a lead within a live segment because take a look at it. Really, we could tell that it.
I was
yeah.
just doing what I was told.
Now, yes, and
I
so.
think we tried to fix a lot of those jump cuts, just from like moving stuff to live and then pre-taping it and kind of moving around. I think we fixed most of them. There was one, I guess I didn't really think about her catch in the pre-show, so sorry about that one, but I didn't really look over it that great.
Also, we was all supposed to check our recordings. Did we check our recordings? Did we check how we record stuff? Because Taylor was standing in front of her smartboard. She was hiding her statistics. Like you were standing in a way where you were hiding at least a third, if not a half, of the smartboard. And nobody saw that, nobody told you that, nobody checked the record. You didn't check the recording. Did you check your recording? How did that happen?
I saw the recording, but once it was edited and I looked at it, there was no time to go back and re-record it.
Yeah, but you saw how you were hiding
no, I definitely did.
most important statistics.
I asked if I was standing in the right place, and I was like, should I stand on the X? And I was like, yeah, you're good. So then I just assumed that it was, I mean, it's my fault. I should have checked it. But
yeah, we need to check our recordings. We need to see how things look, because we end up with, something, you work so hard to create all these graphics, beautiful graphics, and then we couldn't see them. And it was, it's you're so beautiful, we love watching you, but it's kind of dull not to be able to see the graphics in such a long read. And so that we need to check. I know we just have one show left, but we need to, at least the last show, I really beg all of you to, again, connect with your beats. We did not have news today. Everybody decided to do a smart board. You didn't, most of you, with the exception of Skylar, did not have things set up in advance so that we had feasible stories. And so we ended up with, I've never counted so many smart boards in one show. So please, 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 we need to go out strong. Next Monday is our last show. Please, all of you do some real reporting, not just statistics in a smart board. Check your recordings, make sure that you look the best, because that show will be like a memory for all of us. It's our last show together. Let's make it the best. Let's have real news in it. We really struggled. Yes, it's Thanksgiving, but you know, even our live shot fell through, so that would have added a little more energy into our show, but it ended. I'm trying to get to the bottom of why the live shot didn't work. It seems like Live View 2 was not working, and did somebody shut it off? Could we have actually checked it out before that?
With the live shot, basically, Live View 2 was working. It just wasn't like routing to where we needed it to route. So like if you walked back here or in here on one of the secondary screens, you could see Skylar like standing and ready. But basically like it was in one box and we needed to get it to another box and it just like wouldn't go into that other box.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is something that I've never seen before, and I think Neil even said he's never seen it before, so that's what we were confused about. Yeah, and I think we're having trouble today, if you can see what our post-show looks like. Like, everything's just routing weird today, and I don't know why. Thank God it happened, like, now and not during pre-recording, but I think that's just a TriCaster routing issue today. I had two things before I go. The live shot, when it did fail, you, like, immediately had a backup, so good job for that. Paige was just like, oh, we'll just read the lead and play the package. So, like, good one on that.
And Jada recovered very well.
Yes.
She had a strategy, and Paige had a strategy. Paige was communicating well throughout the show,
I
which
thought it
is
was
very
really good.
important.
Good job on that one.
Yeah.
And the other thing
Definitely.
is, like with Taylor's green screen, if you're going to do a graphic in a green screen instead of a smart board, you need to make sure that you make the graphic in a way where you envision where you're going to be standing in front of it, I think. I think that's what happened there. I don't know if it was made originally for the smart board and then we moved it around or something else, but I think that's what happened there. But it's just kind of like, it's an easy fix whenever you like do it again. Just kind of like leave some white space somewhere where you want to stand.
So just like incorporate.
Exactly. So like if you're making it and you know it's going to be like a full screen green screen behind you rather than like the smart board, just be like, oh, like I'm going to stand here, so let me leave this little spot blank and then it'll work fine.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it. I'll let y'all talk. I'm going to go
Okay.
see what's going on.
Thank you, Will. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So Paige, how did it go? Your first show ever produced and one and only. Your only chance. That's why I wanted you also to have a live and have the experience. You have experience of a live shot going down, and we had a strategy. So even though it didn't work, you still had the experience because you were fighting me on that one, but I insisted.
In the end, I'm really glad that I ended up trying the live shot, even though it didn't work out. I think it was cool just to get that experience, and I know it would, with all the smartboard things and all the different things that we had lined up, it definitely would have added a variety of different things that the viewers seeing on TV. So I think that if it were to work out, it would have been an added bonus to our show. I do want to say thank you, Jada. We had a strategy and we had a backup plan. I know there was a little miscommunication on replaying the taped thing and then you doing it live too, and there was a repetition, but I think overall we had a strategy and you were prepared for that. So
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So was I being told to not read that? Because from my understanding, I had said I recorded the lead beforehand.
Said that you had, because we knew, okay, you said thank you, Scott, that was okay, since it was Scott, we were like, let's let the pre-recorded play.
Yeah.
And Brittany
But did anybody tell her to read her lead one more time? Did anybody tell her to read the lead live, even though she knew that she had taped the lead?
We had said when we saw it, it came up
Yeah.
on the prompter and it said, "Thank you, Skylar," blah 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 blah. And we had told the like the production side, let's just do pre-recorded. But then in her ear, we were like, we saw the "Thank you, Skylar," and we were like, just don't say the "Thank you, Skylar" part. Just continue reading.
Okay.
But they had already.
They were
So they
telling me
took-
to just not say "Thank you,
Yeah.
Skylar," but read the rest of it. That's what I was hearing in the studio.
Now-
But it was already pre-recorded.
Right.
So we were originally going to just take the pre-recorded with "Thank you, Skylar."
Now, why was the lead, if it was pre-recorded, why was the script still in the prompter? Was the script still in the prompter, or did you read it off your hard copy?
I wrote it in the prompter. I mean, I wrote
Okay, so why was it still in the prompter if it's
So everything's-
recorded?
Everything's in the prompter, even though it's not. Even if it's pre-recorded, it's still in the prompter in case, like, the playback goes wrong or something. We still needed it in case.
Okay.
So, like, every script was in the prompter throughout the whole show.
Yeah, because it was really good communication. I just think with that one thing, I was hearing to read it, and I was just like, it's already. I was confused because I thought that maybe it was edited out, and everyone was telling me just don't read "Thank you, Skylar." Read the
Yes.
rest of it. Start at in Northeast Georgia, and so I just went with what I was told to do. So it's kinda
Skylar, thank you for being willing to go out there, do a live shot. I really liked the stand-up you sent us for the top of the show. I think it added a lot for the pre-show tease. And sorry it didn't work out. The package was very good. It was very interesting, well shot. And I thank you for that and for being well prepared. Just the audio was a little bit uneven. If you watch it again, I don't know why, but the audio was a little bit uneven. But it was good. It was, you know, you and Peyton did some reporting today. And so sorry to interrupt, but
No, that's fine.
keep going.
No, I think it was just a miscommunication because we had originally just said we'll take the pre-recording and that was our backup, and then somewhere in the mix we took it live too.
I think another thing, because we had Jada with Ashlyn in the double box, so we knew that had to be pre-recorded, and so we kind of just went with pre-recording everything instead of just only doing the smartboard and then just doing the lead and tag live.
See, a double box works because it's a different
Yeah, it's
visual, right?
different.
When you go back to live,
Right.
you're not in a double box,
Right.
so there's no jump cut.
But I think that was like
yeah.
our mistake. We just made all of that live. I meant pre-recorded as opposed to just the smartboard.
Yeah, if the whole block is taped, yes, everything is taped. But doing that in the middle of a live block when you're going back and forth live and tape, you see what happens. Yeah.
I think like going
yeah.
forward to prevent the jump cuts and to prevent the things
Yeah.
like on our end that we messed up on this time, going forward I think it would be a good idea to have like if you have a smartboard or a green screen, can label everything separate instead of mixing like a tag and a lead. Just have like lead, smartboard, tag, lead, green
Treat it
screen,
as a
tag.
package, right?
Yeah, so
Just
that
as a
you can
package.
see specifically what is separate. Because then we could have done like live, lead, and tag and just had the smartboard section pre-recorded.
Just
instead of
like
the
a,
whole
yeah,
thing. So
yeah.
I think going forward, just designated and separate things in the rundown would help with that mix up too.
Okay.
The talent did amazing though, on a lighter note. I love sports. It was so good. Y'all have great chemistry. It was really, really good. Jada, you did amazing too. Just overall talent was really, really good. Despite all like the little things, y'all all did really good.
It was a really nice idea to have the three of you start the show. I thought you had great chemistry, all three of you. The way you opened, Jada, you made sure that you were looking at them and you were sort of engaged and listening to them. And I thought it was a very nice open. All of you were sort of listening to each other, turning your attention to the speaker. And the two of you have amazing chemistry, the two of you, Isaiah and Katie. It was very, very good. It really added a lot to our show, and I'm glad you did it live. And you know, it's different when things are live. It's different. There's a different energy to things.
Paige and Brittany also for coming down and like asking us what we could cut. I think it worked out well what we cut. Rather than just like cutting a whole section, like letting us look at our script, even though it was like 30 minutes before the show started. I want to thank you for still letting us do it and not knowing exactly what the timing would be, because we really enjoy doing it.
Yeah,
I think y'all were just naturals up there, and y'all made eye contact, and I think that's what made it was a conversation. Y'all weren't staring at the screen, and I think in sports in the past, like being pre-recorded and having one anchor, you're tending, like the readers just turn into I'm looking at the camera reading, but I think the conversational and making it live, I think too, enforced that conversational style. So I think y'all did a really good job with that.
It was very nice, yeah. And I like the fact that you decided to go with a Thanksgiving focus right off the top of the show, because we were struggling. We didn't have a top story, and I think we had interesting angles that we covered for our viewers as they look ahead and prepare for Thanksgiving. So that sort of saved us because we didn't have much reporting. So anything else?
I will say I really liked the use of have the anchors that sat at the table all talked at the table. So I think it was beneficial that we had the three people, because in the past we have one anchor and then the other people just say, I'm so-and-so with weather, I'm so-and-so with sports. But I really liked how we saw y'all talk at the table and y'all were a part of it too, not just Jada this time. So I think it really added like a full comprehensive, like here's three people that enjoy being together and are passionate about what they're talking about.
It was, yeah, it was a great idea. And again, it was you guys, it was your idea, right?
Yeah, it was their innovation. They came to me like days before and they had this planned out and what they wanted to do, so they were prepared on
Probably
their
you
end,
inspired
for sure.
them with your innovation with Taylor. Yeah, but I like that look, and I thought that was great. Do we have time again? What are you guys doing next week to do something similar?
Yeah, so I'm switching with Wellesley for, so I'm gonna be sports anchor, and then Katie's gonna be TV again. So potentially, if we can, whoever's, I don't know who's producer, but we can do something similar if we can. I won't get you, yeah.
I was thinking maybe if I ran my profile and then, so I'd fill my TV time, but then we could also maybe do it again. I'll talk to Wangeshi and see what she wants me to do. But we were hoping if we were able to do it again, we would
Where's
love to.
Wangeshi?
I don't think she wasn't feeling well, so she left.
Okay, and she's doing sports, is she?
She's producer next week.
She's TV producer.
That's right.
with Isaiah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think also it'd be really cool, I'm not sure, I guess if you start live, like in the show with all three of y'all being at the desk again, I think it would be really cool to have the same thing, like at the desk, but maybe if it was pre-recorded so that you could have like a sports or a more sports background during the thing. But a more modern sports than we have in the past, because they have like a ton of templates in the TriCaster and they're more than willing to like show you all the options.
Well, and it'll be a big week because the SEC championship will be on Saturday. And so we're anticipating that the press conference will be kind of a big deal. So it might even be a pretty big story. Whatever we get.
And there's a really cool, like it's like a modern background and then it's like a stand-up one, so you could even stand up and have a conversational thing too. You'll have to take a look at those things, and I can show you too, but they're really cool to like progress this and take it one step further.
Oh, thank you, Paige.
And I want to give a huge shout out to the digital people. Marissa, bless you, bless you, bless you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Again, she had several roles, and she I really liked the intro to the Thanksgiving that she wrote. The SOTs, the MOSs she took to open our show really added, and it just brought in this human kind of fun aspect of, you know, real people and what they thought about it. And then we went into the donations, and I really like that, and I thank you for doing that.
Thank you for
Okay.
sharing.
Yeah.
I also want to give a shout out to the digital team. You guys were awesome today. Mongeshi was on the smart board, and she put out a Facebook post with her map. Julia had a Twitter thread and a Facebook post that she put out today. Isaiah had a really great UGA versus Georgia Tech article that he also put out today.
In addition to the Q&A.
And he was on the broadcast, yeah. And then
Well,
Marissa
thank you.
had the article and then was also on the broadcast. So that was awesome. Also, shout out to Jasmine and Jada for helping me film Grady Daily. It was a challenge today, but we got through it. So thank you.
Yeah. And thank you, Jasmine, for filming, stepping in for Sam. Yeah, we had a few curveballs, but we did struggle for content, and let's not struggle on our last day. Let's really make it great, this last show, because it's just one that we have left. Can't believe it. Yeah. So,
even though, like, I know we were kind of struggling for, like, harder news stories, we still made it work. Skylar, thank you, because I was kind of, like, nagging her when she was out. I'm like, I need something for pre-tees. Can you do a stand-up? Oh, wait, can you go live? So I know it was, like, a lot, but she was more than willing to do it. I'm sorry that the live shot failed. Like, I was back there looking at it. It looked beautiful. You sounded great. It just wouldn't, we couldn't, like, get it over. So it sucks, but yeah. But thank you
but the
so much
stand-up
for-
at the top of our show
Yeah.
really helped.
Yeah.
I also like Peyton's. Where's Peyton? Did she?
She left also.
Okay. But her stand-up was good as well, and the package turned out good, although it just had one source, but still it was interesting. It was meaningful, but again, it was just more of the same that we did. We didn't have a variety of stories.
And shout out to Peyton
Yeah.
because she hiked 2 miles just to get to her story. So
who hiked?
She did it. Peyton, the site where her story was, she had to like walk, and it was a mile to get to like the plant. And so she had all of her equipment, and she had to walk with all of her equipment to get the footage.
Well, it was worth it.
Yeah, it was a really good package.
It just needed one more source. But yeah, I'm glad because the cyber threat thing didn't work out, which we thought would give us a variety and a different kind of story, in addition to all the community-oriented stories that we had in the A block. So she kind of pivoted very quickly and saved things.
I think Peyton too, like she did a wonderful package, but I think it goes back to being prepared and stuff. And I just want to say she came in, like over the weekend, she had 4 ideas and a Google thing. So when that first one fell through, she was like, "Oh, I've got another idea." And so she had like multiple things to pull out of her hat if something fell through. So I think that's something that we should all like admire and look up to too, because I know I should be better about having multiple ideas, and it showed with her today. Just multiple things. She kept saying, "Well, I've got this, I got this," so she had a lot to deliver today.
And also Ashlyn, like she was weather and she stepped up and she did the smart board thing, gave us another angle for Thanksgiving with the economic side of it. So that really, really helped our show.
I think just overall, everyone's willing to step up and everyone's willing to say yes, and I really appreciate that. And I couldn't have done it without these lovely people up here. You were great. Because I'm surprised I'm still standing here.
You did a really good job producing.
For your first one?
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Even though I kept telling them, back off, I know she can do it. You know, I want her to have the confidence, and you handled it. I mean, it's not easy to do a live show for the first time, and you did it. You did it even with when the live shot didn't go well, when it fell through. And so what was the main thing you think that you learned, or something that surprised you about producing that you didn't expect, or
I
something?
guess I knew there was a lot of moving parts, but I didn't know there was that many moving parts, I guess.
Mhm.
So just being on top of things and managing, like, I guess,
Mhm.
like your hands are on a little bit of everything. So I guess just like I didn't realize how much I would be doing in this
Mhm.
part. Like I knew and I thought I was prepared when I came in, and then I wasn't prepared. But I think overall, just timing is a really big thing.
Yeah, that's the
And
one
that
of the
was probably
biggest challenges.
thing. And
Yeah.
I think throughout, not just today and me being a producer today, but out of all of our shows, we couldn't do any of this without the production team. So
Mhm.
I think
It's all
big
teamwork,
kudos
always.
to them as well, because they play a vital role as much as we do on this side too.
So, anybody wants to share? I want to hear from you guys. Enough from us. Would any of you want to say something? Jada, do you want to? How were you with the anchoring? You did very well. You did very well. Did you enjoy it? Was it?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was great.
And we liked you too. We we thought you did a great job, and I saw how hard you worked and practiced everything, and were prepared. Yeah, yeah.
I hate how it like came out and how it like showed on the show, like all of the things that I feel like I could have caught before, like, hey, maybe we shouldn't record this because it'll like be jumpy, you know. But it's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah, recording, as you know, I'm not a very big fan of recording, but I understand that we have fewer resources, so we need to record. But we also have to think through how things will look. And because even if you hadn't read that lead one more time, which was taped, there was still jump cuts, even when you weren't doing this, because part of it was live, and then you're sitting in almost the same spot, but it's not quite the same, where you continue live, and you can tell that there's a slight shift, and you just can't make it look.
Yeah, we know.
You can work on it and avoid it by turning to another camera. So if the tag is on camera 1, if you turn to camera 2 for the live lead, then you don't have a jump cut because you're on a different camera, it's a different look. But when you're sitting in the same place and looking at the same camera, it's unavoidable. So we need to bear that in mind.
I think that was on our end, or my end for sure. That wasn't your doing at all.
No, that wasn't your fault at all. Yeah, it was.
It's
Yeah.
fine. It was fun. I think I just kind of got a little discouraged after it a little bit. I was like, man, that looks crazy.
But you didn't show it. You didn't show it. You performed well until the very end of the show, and we didn't. And that's the thing. An anchor shouldn't show the viewers, what's going on in the kitchen as much as you can. You just have to keep them going, keep on hosting the show, presenting the content to them as the best you can, and not put it on them, that there's something going on. So you did the right thing. We didn't notice that you were discouraged. So that was good.
Thank you guys. You guys communicate so well. Paige, you're like absolutely amazing. You were in my ear the whole time, making sure I had my scripts and going over it with me. And I thank you so much for that.
Yeah, I think so too, that for first time she kept you informed. And again, it takes a lot of thinking and strategy to keep your anchor in mind, and you did very well with that. Yeah.
Thank you.
So looking ahead, I think we have, one more minute. Please promise me that you're going to have real reporting, fallback ideas if things don't work out. We really need to finish this strong, because I know what you're capable of, and I know you can do it. But let's not be in this situation again, where we're struggling, and that's why I insisted that we have a live shot. So now you see that you were saying, but we have all this thing in the studio and it's like live. It's not like live if it's in the studio. It's a different look, but it's too much of the same different look, and it's not the same as somebody standing out there and outside and where the event is happening. or somebody ad-libbing, like the two of them were just like ad-libbing. They were, you could tell there was energy, it's a totally different thing. So we promise our viewers,
We're done.
stay
Sorry.
tuned next Monday.